Bienvenidos todos. It's good to have you all here for the last of the creative writing lessons of the spring 2026 Conchas y Café semester. I'm very happy to say that I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of really good discussion up to this point, and I'm also really happy to see a lot of you joining in for the very first time. So, welcome, bienvenidos a todos. En el chat estoy subiendo de nuevo el folleto que vamos a repasar. The handout is in the chat now on Zoom, and it is available for you to download. Of course, the recording along with the handout will be available to download on our website during the remaining weeks of the current Conchas y Café semester. If you find this on YouTube later, after the fact, sorry, you may have missed out on having the opportunity to submit work to the current Conchas y Café volume. But that said, for those of you that are joining in today, you are more than welcome to submit work before May 5th, before and up to May 5th. El 5 de mayo va a ser el último día para entregar trabajo que ojalá sea publicado en el nuevo volumen de Conchas y Café. And for the remaining weeks that we have in the semester, we will be entirely dedicating them to workshopping your writing, your poetry, etc., and in preparation for you to ultimately upload it to Submittable using the link that I've been providing over the last few weeks. Today's session is going to be, I see a hand raised. Is there a question, SJ?
Tengo una pregunta. About submitting, it's not clear to me whether or not what will be submitted as any of the work we've done as part of the classes, or just individual work that fits the theme.
It's both. It's really up to you. You can submit work that you've been working on throughout the course, or you can submit other work that you have that may also align with the theme. Remember, the theme is de aquí allá, from here there. So it is thematically, going to have some kind of continuity. But this is also being combined with the theme from our last semester, the fall 2025 semester. And that theme was pájaros y galaxias, birds and galaxies. So, the themes, they're going to hopefully gel together once all the work is submitted and curated. I hope that answers your question. But again, May 5th is going to be the last day for submissions. Any additional questions before we move on? I think that covers most everything. I know we have an awesome lesson that Abraham has prepared for us today. So with that, microphone is yours, Abraham.
Welcome, guys. We have a very special lecture, and I think the video is only in Spanish, so I'm gonna try to put the text on the chat, so you guys can follow in English, or you guys can check the pamphlet that Luis put on the message as well. But we'll do that. So whenever you're ready, Luis, I'll start posting. So do not post anything yet on the chat unless I finish. I'll just put down, and so leave it open so I can just write everything.
Right. So here we have No Tengo Tiempo para Cambiar Mi Vida by Rockdrigo.
Thank you, Luis. And in the meantime, I'm going to start with of course, the obvious. We are a bilingual class. So esta parte fue en español y tenemos en inglés. Ahorita, Luis, déjame, uso mis notas. Y, sorry, let me share. What's this one? Okay. You guys can read, right? Okay, just that's the English part. It's also in the chat. So you guys can read on the chat in the meantime. And para esos que hablan español, ¿qué piensan acerca de esta canción? While the people in English can catch up. Para los que hablan inglés, están leyendo todavía. Los que hablamos en español, ¿qué piensan acerca de esta rola?
Well, one thing that I wanted to mention is, you know, the video actually has incorrect lyrics. So no es tuerca, es puerta.
No, yo vi es tuerca en otras. Estuve viendo también otras.
Really?
Sí,
That's
otro
funny,
chat. Yeah.
I actually checked the official album.
Oh, the official one.
Yeah, the official album lyric.
Okay.
And so in the album, it's puerta, according to my source.
Okay, because I checked another website that has some of the lyrics as well, and also said tuerca. So, ya escuchándolo, escuché mucho eso, so it could be both. I don't know, maybe the original one, the original singer, they have a different there, but so far, good.
Either way. But yeah, there is no right or wrong answer, of course, you know, so ¿qué piensan? ¿Qué opinan?
¿Qué opinan?
Has anyone actually heard the song before?
Are you asking me?
Anyone.
You're cute.
No.
No, but I get the feeling in my spirit.
So what do you felt about the actual rhythm of it? Let's hear that from you, or the voice, which I found
I'm twixt in between my beautiful dreams. I'm tossed to and fro like so many times before. You know, I know where I want to go, but the trail just don't seem to match. You know, I'm tripping over myself. Do I need to go to the trash?
Oh, wow. We got an original off the top of the head.
No, but it's a spiritual, heartwarming person who does have a dream set, but nobody knows how to get them there. You know, they can give you ideas and suggestions, but nobody actually gives you any help. So you're just being tossed on that sea of transitions, you know, floating in the air here and there, you know.
Definitely you have the feeling of it, which we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit.
I mean, I feel it, but yeah.
You're right there. So what else? ¿Qué más piensan? ¿O cuál fue su línea que les gustó? ¿Cuál fue una de las líneas que les gustó de esta canción? In the meantime, I'm going to ask you, Luis, since I know you probably have heard before.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it from the original artist, Rockdrigo González, and kind of like his version. Pero yeah, the song itself, you know, it has a lot of social commentary, and I'm really into that type of music myself. So I really appreciated it like that.
We also have Marisa's. The use of metaphor is impressive, even just the fact that there are so many. And then we have Harold. Maybe I have a volunteer reads like Luis. Oh, nice. Harold seems to be like one of volunteer, the English version. And Grisel, ¿qué piensas?
Estoy pensando, o no, bueno, que sea que está hablando de uno mismo, cómo es que la vida cotidiana nos va cambiando a todos, no nada más a uno, pero todos cambiamos y por más de querer ser lo que éramos antes o lo que eran nuestros ancestros antes, no podemos por todo lo que nos está brindando esta nueva vida, ¿no? I don't know.
So again, it's about change, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, about change, like, you know, how we go into life. Like when you're little, you grew up being someone different in a way, but as time passes, because of everything that it's being brought to you, shown to you, like, what do you call it? Like what happened when we were younger, there was not many electronics. And we were able to like do a lot of imaginary things, you know, imagine it more than what we do now. Now we have like all this technology, and it's hard for us to think, like he said, que dibuja entre nubes, ¿no? Pero ¿qué pasa? Son borrosas. Why? Por lo mismo de que everything has been changing. So yeah, he could draw things on the sky with the clouds and stuff, but they're blurred. They're a blur already. Wonderful. Because yeah,
don't change.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it's about change. ¿Qué más? I don't want to impose my takes on this one, so I'm going to let you guys talk first. ¿Qué más piensan? What more do you guys think about this one?
This is Mary. Well, no tengo tiempo para cambiar mi vida. Started thinking about, like, you know, who do we say no to? What do we say no to? And what do we say yes to? Like,
decisions?
Yeah, decisions, and just saying no. We can get caught up in saying yes, but you know, we get so busy, and maybe it's important to say no more often. And then maybe we're saying yes to we're saying no to things we should be saying yes to. I don't know. That just came to my mind from the song. I really liked it.
Interesting. Thank you, Mary. Then we have Harold.
You know, I'm going to go back to the cloud stuff. The only reason I'm thinking that when I was young, I don't know why I decided just to look. I used to look at the sun, which is really bad for your eyes, by the way. Never do that for a long time. But I ended up also looking at the clouds. And then when I was young is when I noticed that they're actually moving, right? Like they're actually shifting if you pay attention long enough. Because we always feel, you look at the sky and kind of like an instant, like a picture right away, like a Polaroid of that one moment, but they're actually shifting. And when I was a teacher for a while ago, I used to tell my students, like, just spend like at least a minute looking at the clouds, and they would see that life is moving in a way that we never thought it was. Like, we just had to be patient enough to look at the changes. Otherwise, we just take it for granted. Yes. So that's the part that I focused on.
Yeah, and I think that you guys have something, you and Grisel, something about changing, right? It says, as I was a sculpted cloud, basically, right, against the sky. And we know clouds get erased. Same thing as the snow, right? You cannot keep a track on the snow for too long, right? And this goes to the part of one of my favorite lines is, the machine has turned me into a blurred shadow. And what machine do you think this writer is referring to? Especially, I think we all know about the machine nowadays, but what do you guys think?
Well, the one thing that's changing our lives are the medias and the phones and what else is there? That's a machine. You know,
well,
all these things makes a difference. You know, I was noticing today that everything is going to be done by using your my phone. You know, and taking out my sugar. I can text it to my doctor when putting this machine on the what do they call that? The monitor of your phone. I forgot what they call it. The APP. What do they call those things?
Yeah, it's an app.
Yeah, app. Yeah. You know, and so everything that's the big machine that's ruling the world. That I'd say one day they're going to have you on a conveyor belt where you just go through a machine itself, and it can subscribe your medicine. You pick them up at the end of the trail, You know how they have these conveyor belts? They can just pass you through the machine and analyze what you need, and at the end, you pick them up, pay for them, however, the card thing. Everything is going to be motorized, or the app thing. Like that's a machine.
Yeah, like the idea of
I think it's
automation.
more of a literary, like something that you think like an actual machine, but this is talking about a different type of machine. And just because you raise your hands, Rizal, so I don't know if you want to talk about it or you want me to read the chat.
Okay, so on the chat I put something different to what I'm gonna say.
Okay, go for that then.
So, lo que yo digo que la máquina es el entorno donde estamos, que por eso es difícil de volver a nuestros sueños, ¿no? O sea, yo digo, yo quería ser un artista de grande, pero al final, ¿qué pasó? Por toda la vida que he llevado, no pude llegar a ese sueño que siempre tuve. Y entonces, quiero volver a ser esa persona que soñó tan alto, pero ya no puedo por todo lo que me está rodeando.
There you go. We also have, hold on, let me see who's after you. AI owes the new machine. Well, in terms of more of again, the literary machine, like an actual thing. Then we have SJ, the machine is the automated churning of life, a whole system meant to drain your focus and attention, to make you run on auto, drifting through an unexamined life. Interesting. Civilization itself, reheads, it's take us away from our humanity. This is for iPhone Mary. And then Harold again, the new Skynet. There you go.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
We also have a couple of comments from Felicia in the chat as well.
Okay, go for it.
That say, I really like the honest reveal of confusion of a path or of life. Though it's deep in expression, the music pushes us to desire and uplift in beat or our circumstances. And then Felicia also added, yes, the machine of life and all that bombards us, whether negative or positive.
Yeah, and it's that kind of the social machine they're talking about, right? Like we have a good library that we go to sometimes, right, Luis? What's a Page Against the Machine?
Yeah,
it's a kind of reference to that kind of machine, right? So it's and again, I want to discuss what you do, because I think once we know more about the writer, you will get a little more of what this song is about. But definitely it's one of those that you might want to read again or hear a couple of times, because it has a lot of good lines that I feel like really powerful. So with that being said, let's dig into who the writer of this song is. Okay. So with you, we have González Rockdrigo, born 1950 and passed away in 1985, known as Rockdrigo, which I think is a badass nickname. If there was ever one, that's a cool one. Was a Mexican City street musician who wrote and performed rock songs in Spanish with an acoustic guitar and harmonica in the early 1980s. He was born on December 25th, 1950 in Tampico, Tamaulipas, and subsequently relocated to Mexico City, where he died on September 19 during the 1985 earthquake, which I don't remember because I was 1 year old, but my parents remember that big earthquake. It's one of those moments in time like COVID-19 kind of deal, right? Like people remember those events. He released the album Urban Historias in the 1985, and his friends subsequently compiled and released 3 other after his death. In 1984, Rockdrigo and his friends founded the Rupestre movement, a collective of soloist troubadours who proved semi-acoustic songs with social content and to address daily trials and tribulations of life in Mexico City, known as El Profeta del Nopal, the Prophet of the Nopal, a Bob Dylan type of who employed Mexican humor. That's why you probably have heard this, because the original song has that kind of, the harmonic and that kind of more country kind of vibe. That's kind of the original, right? Dylan Rockdrigo composed songs that depicted the everyday reality of the lower socioeconomic class and appealed to university-educated middle-class audiences. And just put a pin on that one. So, en español, les decía, el compositor de esta canción se llama González Rodrigo, nacido en 1950 y falleció en 1985. Conocido como Rockdrigo, como decía, es un buen apodo. Fue un músico callejero de la Ciudad de México que compuso e interpretó canciones de rock en español, acompañándose de una guitarra acústica y una armónica. A principios de la década de 1980, nacido en el 25 de diciembre de 1950 en Tampico, Tamaulipas, y posteriormente se trasladó a la Ciudad de México, donde falleció el 19 de septiembre durante el terremoto de 1985. Como les decía, uno de los momentos claves para mucha gente es como su COVID. Yo tenía 1 año y mis papás todavía se acuerdan mucho de ese terremoto. Publicó el álbum Urban Historias en 1985 y tras su muerte, sus amigos recopilaron y lanzaron otros 3 discos. En 1984, Rockdrigo y sus amigos fundaron el Movimiento Rupestre, un colectivo de trovadores solistas que producían canciones semiacústicas de contenido social para abordar las pruebas y tribulaciones cotidianas de la vida de la Ciudad de México. Conocido como el profeta del nopal, una figura de estilo Bob Dylan que hacía uso del humor mexicano. Como les decía Luis, él ya escuchó la canción original, tiene más ese tipo de vibra, ¿no? Un poco hippiezona de Bob Marley de esa época, medio country con su armónica. Una figura de estilo Rodrigo compuso canciones que retrataban la realidad cotidiana de las clases socioeconómicas bajas y que conectaban con el público de clase media como formación universitaria. Y pongan un pin a eso porque vamos a hablar un poquito más de eso. So with that being said, what does this information give you to the song? Like, what do you guys think after hearing about the song? ¿Qué piensan acerca de la canción ya cuando comienzan a escuchar la historia del escritor?
By the way, I think to clarify, when it says Mexican humor, el humor mexicano, más bien es un humor negro, black humor, the sort of like ironic, kind of sardonic,
sarcastic,
dark humor. That was characteristic of a lot of his songs. One of his most famous songs is La Estación del Metro Valderas. That song, the station of Metro Valderas, it's a metro stop, and so that song is about the character in the song actually pulling a little bit of a terrorist act, and
well, I didn't
hijacking the train.
I didn't see the humor. I saw the how do you say, the not stressing, but the confusion and unstabilized quality that he was really searching for and wanted within him, his spiritual self. I didn't see any humor in it. I saw, where am I? Where will I be going? What am I going to do with my life? Like if a person was retiring, like we were speaking of earlier, what is going to happen to me? When am I going to reach my dream? I didn't see no humor in all that.
Yeah, what Luis is referring to other songs. This one definitely is a little more serious. And the reason I like this one specifically, that's why it has a really charming vibe, like the beat of it, right?
Oh, I like the beat.
Along, right? Yeah. It takes you to that, because otherwise the song can become a little harsh, which is harsh. It's cool.
No, it wasn't so much harsh. I just believe it was a true person, brother trying to, find his way, trying to find his dream, his position in life. But I like the beat. The beat was really, I like that. It had a nice young beat.
It kind of gets you through it. It
I like the beat.
There, right?
Yeah. I'm a young person at heart, so I like the beat.
So los demás, what else you guys think before we move on? Like that, now that we have that information about the writer, and if the song takes a different meaning or a different, tone. Okay, just for now, this is for time's sake. I'm gonna. It sounds very passive. Harold says, "Huh." There's times that it says, "Oh, go for it, Harold."
Sorry. The reason I'm saying that, if you look at all the verbs, like there's no him doing stuff. Something, he's always writing on something. Like he's always expectations, but there's no time to change my life. As if, you know what I'm saying? Like if you read, I'm reading the English version.
I know.
That's the one. But there is a lack of agency, is what I'm thinking. Like it's always like somebody else's,
right? Like it's I don't have time, right? But it's and again, that's the reason, like I said, like it feels harsh, but there's also some hope when it says like I have time to get my ship in the harbor, right? So that's the little hope that's giving us. But just like
did he mean ship or the one with the T?
funny. But I think he was given like food for thought. Actually, I'm saying for myself, read between the lines, he's making you think. He's putting you, how do you say, food for thought. Are you drifting? There's a black song that says like a ship that's driven on some kind of a rough and raggedy sea or something like that. So he's actually giving you food for thought. Where were you going in life?
Yeah, definitely the whole song, it's about that. It's not just about just the person, it's about the whole social complex, right? But we'll get a little more into that, but it's just, again, it goes like the machine has made me into a shadow, like we're saying, right? And then it's saying that he had all these dreams, right? But now he doesn't have time. It feels like it's an older person finding out that the machine doesn't allow for his dreams to be, right? But he still feels there's a place for him. I still have time to dock in a harbor, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little hope. But besides that, you can see the machine trying to grind him, right? This machine that grinds us all day. Like we're like, oh, I was going to be a fireman, or I was going to change the world, but now I have to pay bills, or I have to go here, or I'm in prison. I don't know, right? Depends on, it's not a specific person. I feel it's
right.
It's the whole of the social movement, right?
Yeah.
This. But any other takes before move on?
But can you imagine putting all those thoughts and things in a hat and then throwing them up?
Yes.
And they're just floating around. And
it has a lot of things.
That meets your, how do you say, your enthusiasm. That's the one you grab a hold of, by chance. And that's what you read.
Yes. It has that little tone. It's hidden there, but it's there. It's like, oh, I still have time.
Yeah.
Even though he kind of contradicts himself, right?
And it's both for male and female.
Oh yeah,
it's no agenda. How you say gender on it?
Yeah.
I mean, where is life going to take us? What is your dream? What is your hope? What is your goal? I mean, what are you doing first? What are your first and second step? What's driving you? What's twisting your mind to do this, that, or the other?
And I'm gonna give you another line just for the sake of the subject. Is one, and as if I were the foam of a commercial for beer. A brand name has already sold off the very shape of my head, right? It's talking about consumerism, right? These brands making us think and making us do things, right? It's like you lose your sense of identity through this machine, which is commercial as well, right? So just giving you that food for thought, right? Or beer.
Oh yeah,
for
who
thirst.
are you? Or who
Yeah.
am I?
Yeah, it's basically that. It's
Yeah.
trying to find a place in this
Yeah.
world, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, and just because this info is gonna give you more into it, let's get into the rest of the class. Because today the subject of the class is urban realism. So the social changes that took place in the 19th century gave rise to a new literary movement characterized by the objective representation of reality, known as realism. Realism originated amidst the social circumstances of the second half of the 19th century. Its emergence is linked to the rise of the bourgeoisie to power and to the new urban society that took shape as a consequence of the industrial development. The middle class gained prominence as a social force and imposed its taste in the literary matters, as the majority of the readers belong to the middle class, which is really interesting, right? Ok, como decía, este es el sujeto, el tema del día de hoy es realismo urbano y los cambios sociales que se produjeron a medios del siglo XIX dieron lugar a una nueva corriente literaria, caracterizada por la representación objetiva de la realidad llamada realismo. El realismo tuvo su origen en circunstancias sociales de la segunda mitad del siglo XIX. Su nacimiento está ligado al ascenso al poder de la burguesía y la nueva sociedad urbana que se formó como consecuencia del desarrollo industrial. La clase media adquirió importancia como fuerza social e impuso sus gustos en materia literaria. La mayor parte de los lectores pertenecían a esta clase, que es la clase media, ¿verdad? The public was interested in the problems of contemporary society, a society that offered the advantages of progress, yet also presented problems that then yet unknown, right? In this context, the rise of realism as a technique and of narrative prose as a model that allowed for the reconstruction of reality, while granting the writer the freedom to choose the theme, characters, and situations, was indispensable. The novel, which by the time already enjoyed a certain degree of popularity, became the genre in which the greatest achievement of realism were realized. El público estaba interesado por los problemas de la sociedad contemporánea, una sociedad que proporcionaba las ventajas del progreso, pero también problemas hasta ese entonces desconocidos. En este contexto es impredecible el auge del realismo como técnica y de la prosa narrativa como modelo que permitía reconstruir la realidad y dejaba libertad al escritor para elegir temas, personajes y situaciones. La novela, que gozaba ya por entonces de cierta popularidad, se convirtió en el género en el que se alcanzaron los mayores logros del realismo. Realism marked a break with romanticism in both ideological and formal aspects. In terms of ideas, writers ceased to focus on themselves and shifted their interest to society, the thing that we were talking about, right? Objectively observing and describing social problems, regarding from the subtle to faithfully reflect reality. And to this end, they utilize the novel as the As for expression, they favor a simpler, more sober and precise style in which the reproduction of the colloquial speech, that is, varying levels of language tailored to the characters, assumed particular significance, especially with dialogue, which is something really interesting, right? I think you can feel the voice in this song that has that kind of tone, right? The urban tone of the Mexico City, right? El realismo supuso una ruptura con el romanticismo, tanto en los aspectos ideológicos como en los formales. En ideas, los escritores dejaron de centrarse en sí mismos y pusieron su interés en la sociedad, observando y describiendo objetivamente, es muy importante, los problemas sociales. En cuanto a la forma, intentaron reflejar fielmente la realidad y para ello se valieron de la novela. Y en cuanto a la expresión, prefirieron un estilo más sencillo, sobrio y preciso, en el que adquirieron relevancia la producción del habla coloquial, es decir, niveles de lenguaje según los personajes, especialmente en diálogos. So, with that being said, any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Una pregunta sobre el realismo urbano, the Urban Realism. Any questions? Nice. Everybody's on top of it. Are you guys sure? Excellent.
There's a little side conversation that I'm having with Harold in the chat regarding some authors that would be characteristic of urban realism.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
And, some examples that I gave in the chat are like Charles Dickens and Mark Twain. They're kind of within that era of realism. And Thoreau and Walt Whitman, they would be the transcendentalists. So that's earlier in the 19th century. That's like 1830s up through to about the 1840s. Then you had Romanticism, so like Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley. Those would be between like the 1840s up through to about the 1870s.
And that's interesting because realism became a thing because people were moving into like the cities and all that stuff, and they were journeying for the rural part of the world, right? Like they were trying to like romanticize, right? And this is kind of like, oh, let's actually see what's going on in these things, right? Let's actually depict the things as they are, because realism and romanticism are like opposites if you see them in a way. Right?
Yeah, they're reactions, right? They're reactions to one another. So, because of the Industrial Revolution that happened, especially in Europe and in the U.S., you have this working class individuals who's real. So
it has to be mute.
Yeah. So you have this very harsh reality that people are experiencing, and that the middle class people in these advanced countries, quote unquote, they start to realize that they're having an impact on the environment and they're having an impact on humanity, on society. So realism was a reaction to this industrialization and all of the negative things that are happening to the world. And it carried on through to approximately the 1910s, 1920s, mostly because of World War I. And then after that, you get the Dadaists and you get all the modernists and that kind of thing.
Etc. And we have also SJ. Will Upton Sinclair count as urban realism? The jungle was a general rate.
Yeah. That's within like the tail end, I would say, of the realist movement. Upton Sinclair is kind of like dovetailing into the modernist movement.
And it's just, again, it's interesting because it's not just the ideology of it, but also the consumerism of the literature. Because here we're talking about the middle class is dictating, oh, we want to hear about this. So I find it interesting that romanticism was more like the upper class wanted to see what the poor people were doing, and romanticizing what the culture of the farmers or the people on the countryside were doing, right? And we want to see what these people are doing in the highway, because we're kind of part of it, right? Just a little above of it, but it's still part of it, which is an interesting thing.
And it also comes from the fact that the bourgeoisie, the middle class, a lot of them were new money. So their experiences were not the same as the aristocracy that came before them, romanticism.
Same thing as when the samurais became an old thing, and the people who are selling stuff became the new people in power, if you think about it. It's a kind of big social movement, big social changes that change what are we consuming literally, right? Okay. And just because we're already on that subject, I want you guys to have an exercise, right? Let's do this little exercise together. Again, you don't have to do a whole thing. Just text whatever you feel like after you've done it, okay? But it goes like this. Exercise. Write some of your truths of your living in an urban environment, okay? Ejercicio, como le decía, tío. Escribe unas de las verdades sobre vivir en un entorno urbano. So, just whatever your thoughts on it, go for it and put in the chat, just for you to get the juices flowing, right? Como les decía, es nada más para ver qué piensan acerca de sus verdades urbanas, ¿verdad? Y como les decía, no estamos intentando como sugarcoating o hacerlas bonitas, pónganlas como piensen que es, ¿verdad? And we're gonna give you 5 minutes, Luis? Sounds fair or more?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't checked the clock yet.
In the meantime, I did put the exercise prompt in the chat. But in the meantime...
See, the Bob Dylan style of it.
This is the original version of this song.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that made that song.
It's a good song.
Okay, we have S.J. Carter. Do you mind saying it? I feel like it'll be cool to hear you. But if not, we'll try it.
Okay. Online conservatives will have you believe that cities are shitholes. Filthy, crowded, criminals lurking behind every corner, waiting to make you the next of today's hapless victims. In reality, cities are efficient, vibrant, and statistically safer than semi-rural exurbs. I'd write a story of the concrete jungle straight out of Compton, but my downtown street is landscaped and tree-lined, and when I bike to the store, I wave at all my neighbors. Stay in bumfuck nowhere and breathe in your pesticide-laden fresh air, while you bitch about $5 a gallon gas for your pavement princess that you insist you need for your rugged life. I can walk anywhere, and then there's at least 2 hospitals in a 3 square mile radius.
Nice. You're really working it. Nice. Great. I'm gonna choose you as the reader for the next one, by the way, because I feel like you have that cool vibe. But excellent. I really love it.
And we also have one from Harold. Harold, would you mind sharing with us what you wrote?
One on the AI kind of thing. It is you whose voice to wake up promptly at 5:30. Coffee brewing since 5:15 on weekdays. Wake me up before you go. Let's get this party started in here. On snooze at 6, just in case. Out by 6:30. YouTube on The Daily Show. Colbert, John Oliver on Mondays. Or Pablo finds out like weather or traffic to work.
Nice. Love the details of sprinkle here and there, and the language as well.
Yeah. I like how both of them are obvious references to the current actuality that we're living.
Oh, and just by the way, yeah, for those who are working on it, don't worry, I meant to do the poem. These guys are like very pros.
Yeah.
You can just write text like, just ideas of what you guys think, the reality of your urban situation is, right? And if you're not urban, don't worry, go for whatever you are. I feel like it still accounts for it.
Yeah, for those of you that are joining in for the first time today, the exercises are just brainstorming exercises. They're not meant to be full-length poems yet. But it does help to have what you wrote written down on either a notebook or somewhere else where you can access it later. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add or share?
In the meantime, Luis, tell me a couple of things of your urban realities. I think I would like to hear that. Not fleshed out, just like ideas or things that you feel about urban living.
Well, my urban reality is actually kind of similar to what SJ wrote. I think about the nature, the intersection of the coyotes walking along the sidewalk, and the gas at $6 a gallon, and the smell of sometimes charcoal, sometimes forest fires. Those are all urban realities that I think we experience often.
And I always like to hear those little, like the details you're describing, because it not only just tell me the geography, it also tells me the timeline. Like, we're talking about AI or the internet or TikToks, right? And how that's going to become its own bubble, right? And people, if they read it later in the future, going to be, oh, interesting. This is from back in the day, right? Like here and there. Mm-hmm. But now it's the present thing about, especially the wildfires and...
Looks like Abraham, you're being asked, what do you think when you think of urban reality?
I think that I hate the buses. I love driving a car, and things have changed. So I would love to go back into a time where you were driving and there's not a lot of traffic, and it's becoming our New York, right? But I also love the smell of the taco vendors, right? And the cool people who are in the line. I love hearing the conversations of people waiting to like order their food, right? Especially in certain funny times, right? In the middle of the night.
Yeah, they also made me think of the sound of my motorcycle.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
This is what a Vespa, right?
Yeah, I guess the sound you made, yes.
Miss Mary, we have Harold. Just not sure like how GPS can track you down until detail line. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the technology is taking us.
Miss Mary,
Skynet.
You had something you wanted to share?
Oh yeah. Well, some of the truths are that although La Familia's very busy to talk sometimes, they're always there when you really need them or when they need you. So it's a fallacy that they're too busy. I think it's just in our minds, in my mind. So it's great to celebrate holidays, but teaching my grandson how to fit into society at what cost. These are just ideas that I wrote down. Being the other is a myth. The rat race springing by. But I love all the ethnicities when I walk in my neighborhood. The Indian food, the Chinese, every ethnicity down the street on Venice Avenue. Even though we're getting to the end of democracy and there's a Nazi at my door, I know my neighbors and they have me in their mind. So those are some of my truths, but yeah.
It's a good list. It's already a good list. Okay. Like you have your grandchild going, like nephew, grandchild,
grandchild, yeah.
Yeah, and how you are trying to help and adjust to these new social things, or also teaching you, because these kids are living in a total different world now, and I feel that they're more open and more, ready for these new ideas than us, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which another big benefit of these urban cities and things, it collects a lot of people that normally wouldn't be in the same spot, right? And anybody else, alguien más antes de que sigamos?
I just wanted to say que me gustó mucho el prompt porque vivo en una ciudad donde hubo un accidente de avión de UPS y he estado queriendo escribir sobre esto ya por buen rato desde que pasó. And so this got me going on that. So the whole piece va a ser de el accidente de avión de UPS. So.
There you go. That's a lot of material there. It's a lot of subject. You can do a lot with that one.
Yeah. Y trabajo en una organización de sin fines de lucro especialmente para la comunidad latina. So, todos los que estuvieron afectados por el accidente vinieron a nuestra organización en vez de llamar a la policía por miedo de ser deportados. Entonces, en un trágico accidente, todavía no preferían venir a nosotros que llamar a la policía. So there's,
Wow,
I think it'll be all about that. So thank you for this.
Oh, thank you. Can't wait to hear about that one as well. Like, we have a lot. That's a lot of good material you have. Nice. Anybody else before we move on? Okay, just for the sake of time, I'm trying to keep. Hold on, we have one more. Karen, not in any literary form. I was just music to a neighborhood downstairs in my apartment complex. How many of us have agreed to view our neighborhoods as community? We actively help each other. Yes, that's definitely something that people don't realize, that sometimes in urban environments can be also communities, right? And I mean, some people find that, right? And that's good to don't forget about that. Like sometimes we are thinking, oh, it's just me against the city, and it could be my neighborhood, and but yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Anybody else? ¿Alguien más antes de que sigamos? So we already done this. Excellent, guys. Like you already on top of it, which is I thought really cool. Okay. So I want. Who did I say? Who read? Somebody who has the poem here was SJ. SJ, I feel like this is your poem. Can you help me read this one? This is definitely for you. I feel like it will go with you.
Okay. Detroit by Kira Alexis Tucker. These days, the plants are overtaking the plants. Abandoned factory packing centers overgrown with ivies and moss. Kids on TikTok filming buildings where people made to be machines. Assembling a living from the parts of cars. You can say industry plant here and mean Packard, and mean crabgrass, and mean Reagan's crack cocaine in black long since the 80s. Down south, a teen could call you green as hell and not mean the color of rust or vines, breaking vacant sweatshop walls. Growing for God knows how long. Green, not for youth or ecological consciousness, but green because you've done one of us wrong. Shady as wing-seated sycamores on a record-setting day. Green as in you really... Oh, sorry, it keeps jumping. Green as in you really won't lend me that... Sorry. Green as in you really won't lend me that 20? Green as in you've eaten so much and left nothing from my hunger. Green, you refuse to ease anyone's living but your own. I say invasive species, I mean yards of weeds and redressing blighted homes. We invasive species say green, I mean lead in our water from Flint to West Virginia. Green, the hue of Great Lakes pollution-induced algal blooms. I'll stop here. I can't remember its graffiti, stories, rhythms, or winds too big to fit description without seeing everything green in this city. The many still let happen to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was good. Again, that was yours. Excellent. And before we talk about it, when somebody who read in Spanish, I think, hold on, I'm gonna, hold on. Who else wants to read in Spanish? ¿Alguien quiere que leer en español?
En estos días las plantas están invadiendo a las plantas. Fábricas de centros de empaquetado abandonadas cubiertas de hiedra y musgo. Chicos en TikTok filmando edificios donde se hacía las personas ser máquinas, ensamblando.
Perdón.
Sorry. let's see, ensamblando un sustento y a partir de piezas de carros. Aquí puedes decir planta industria y referirte a Packard y referirte a la hierba de cangrejo y referirte a la cocaína crack de Reagan en los pulmones negros desde los años 60. Allá en el sur, un adolescente podría llamarte verde como la chingada y no referirse al color del óxido ni al de las enredaderas que rompen los muros de talleres abandonados, creciendo desde Dios. Se cuenta tiempo verde no por juventud ni por conciencia ecológica, sino verde porque le has hecho a uno de los nuestros daño, turbio como un sicamoro de semillas aladas en un día. Récord de verano, verde como si de verdad no vas a prestarme esos $20, verde como diciendo te has tragado tanto y no has dejado nada para mi hambre. Verde te niegas a aliviar la vida de nadie que no sea la tuya propia. Yo digo especies invasoras y me refiero a los montones de maleza que recubren hogares deteriorados. Nosotros, las especies invasoras, decimos verde y nos referimos al plomo. En nuestras aguas, el plomo en nuestra agua, desde Flint hasta Virginia Occidental, verde es el matiz de los grandes lagos, contaminación, incluida floraciones de algas. Pararé aquí. No puedo recordar sus grafitis, sus historias, su ritmo, ni sus vientos demasiado inmensos para ser descritos sin ver. Todo lo verde que está ciudad, los tantos todavía permiten que nos pase a nosotros. Wow.
Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you very much. So what do you guys think about this poem? ¿Qué piensan acerca de este poema?
Has anyone ever been to Detroit before in the group? Or does this fit what you imagine Detroit to be? Miss Mary writes very, very Urbano Realism.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to give you a hint, what do you guys think about the language used here? Se has certain peculiarities, right? ¿Qué piensan acerca del lenguaje usado aquí?
Harold
Green.
Yeah. Green dictates suburban and urban reality.
Yes, there you go. And it goes into like the green, right? Then
And
we have SJ. I like how she contrasts botanical plants with factory plants. Yeah, that was a great one. Then we had for Mary says truth. Then Felicia, yes, it does fit what I have heard about Detroit. Yes, me too. I haven't been there myself, but I know a little of the history behind Detroit.
And Karen wrote Detroit of a particular time.
Yes, because there was a vibrant industry leader of Detroit, and this is more of the decadence of Detroit, right? Yes, it creates a story of crumbling infrastructure, as Jay said. Yes. Then we have Harold. Flint is that when water supply got poisoned? Yes, that's the place. Still, I think it is. I haven't heard any good news about Flint, and it's one of them. The places that have, it's one of the things about urban and all these factory things. It also affects the environment. I think it's a big topic too. Yeah, it still has lead according to SJ. Yeah, rivers will burn. Yeah, some rivers have burned. Yeah. Good jobs. Yes, people had good jobs back in the day. Yeah, that's what somebody says. There's a particular time frame of Detroit being spoken here. That's why I said, like, when you guys write some poems that have so many details, we're bound to it's speaking from this type of time period, right? And then Marisa Cuevas, I love how the word green fits into the many different contexts, but also reminiscence of money and capitalism. That was the image stuck in my mind. Yes. Grisel, la planta industrial es cubierta por una planta invasiva. O sea, para ver quién es la planta, ¿verdad? ¿Qué es la planta invasiva?
Exactly. ¿Cuál es la invasiva?
Yeah. And I like that because, again, we're talking about what the urban society brings. It's one of the things that urban realism says, right? Yeah, it brings the benefits of progress of all this machinery and industry and all that stuff, but also the problems unknown. And I think one of the big ones that we're talking about was about the environment, right? Flint and the plants. And then when the economics collapse, all these things become the decay of it, right? It's talking about the decay of these cities. The duality of plants again, Harold, yes. It's a good, yeah. And again, the good use of words, right? And the language used in those places. It's a good way of writing. Excellent. ¿Alguien más? Somebody else who have anything on this one? Luis, before we move on?
There's actually another poem that I have used in the past. Abraham, you probably remember it. There's a poem called The Idea of Detroit, and it describes Detroit using a lot of different metaphors. And one of the things that poem in particular always has stood out to me is the image of Detroit being the severed head of a pig on a platter.
Oof.
Yeah. And in this one, what stood out to me was obviously the color green and the way in which the vines and everything is being described to talk about how nature is reclaiming what it once, what once belonged to nature. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's also obviously the reference to the Reagan drug era and
yes,
yeah, all of that stuff.
It has a lot of topics that are linked by the place, right? Yeah. Detroit and all these, the time frame, the past, the present, and I don't know about the future yet.
Well, yeah, pero I mean, obviamente abarca la historia, la historia casi completa de Detroit up to now.
Okay, SJ, see you later. Okay, and before, just because of the time, and I want you to get you into the most important thing of the class, homework. So let's talk about this homework. So everyone has here a place of existence, a home, a job, a neighborhood, a city, and there is where the rest have their here. And by combining our works, we can have the collective here / there, right? With that being said, I want you to use the concept of urban realism to tell the reality of your city, if not town or county, right? Etc. Wherever you live or whatever you feel is your here, right? Reminders, try to be true and not romanticize. And have in mind the language of the people in this environment. Y como les decía, la tarea, su parte favorita de esta clase. Todo el mundo tiene un aquí, un lugar de existencia, un hogar, un trabajo, un barrio, una ciudad, y es precisamente allí donde los demás tienen su propio aquí. Y al unir nuestros trabajos, podemos conformar ese aquí y el / allá colectivo, porque todos los aquí y los allá se van a juntar, ¿verdad? Dicho esto, quiero que utilicen el concepto de realismo urbano para narrar la realidad de tu ciudad o, en su defecto, de tu pueblo, condado, etcétera, donde vivas, ¿verdad? O donde pienses que esté tú aquí. Como recordatorio, procura ser fiel a la realidad y evitar idealizar. Y ten siempre presente el lenguaje propio de las personas que habitan en ese entorno. Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta acerca de esta tarea?
And as a reminder, the homeworks are merely a suggestion. They're not like graded. They're not, no se califican las tareas. Son simplemente como un tipo de ejercicio extendido, hay que decir.
Yeah, so you guys can use what we cover and try new things mostly, because that's a lot of ways of thinking, writing, and expressing, right? So we'll always try to switch up. Okay. And just because, extra, pilon, and because Harold said he wanted more, why not? I'm gonna ask him if he can read this work because he asked for it. Harold, if you can help me, before we go.
You must be a mind reader, because I don't know, but might be AI there. Can you make it a little bit bigger? So
yes. Let me see.
Extra, belong. A city after hours doesn't stop. Metal curtains drop, but some others go up. Ugg sign, is that it? Ugg signs? Oh, light signs fight for attention. Yet the $1 million theater can't compete with the tragedies sleeping on filthy streets. So angels dance as pagans to the drum beats of the Mayan nightclub, while hot dog and taco benders wait outside for those restless souls not yet ready to go home. One last stop, the Edison, with the science industrial-inspired type of decor. For those who'd like to bar hop, or La Cita, the perfect place for one last margarita. Night fades away and a 9 to 5 becomes 12 to 2, driving through street holes that a GPS won't show. Still, loving couples, chatty friends, and drunks zooming out home. All of them on their way home. Thanks to an app on their phone, morning will come and Los Angeles will wake up ready to face another dawn.
Thank you very much.
Title, The City After Hours, by Abraham Jaramillo, who apparently he's telling us what he does after hours.
You said you wanted to hear about what I think about the city? There you are.
Oh, is that the Mayan theater that you're talking about?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Harold, and thank you for being here. Hopefully you guys had a good, time, and hope to see your work or see you on the other side. I don't know. Stop sharing.
And as a reminder, everyone, if you send your work to us by this Friday by email, you will be prioritized next week when we start the workshop. And as one final reminder, for the remaining sessions of Conchas y Café, we will be dedicating the time to workshopping your work, helping you prepare it for the final day of submissions, which is May 5th, Tuesday, May 5th. Thank you again, everybody. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and we look forward to reading your poetry. See y'all next Tuesday.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta luego.